This morning, as you stepped onto your patio with a cup of warm coffee, an invisible surveillance sweep began. It was already in progress across the canopy of your garden, silently tracking your every move from the trees. You probably thought that solitary honeybee hovering near your lavender was simply foraging for nectar today. You assumed she was flying in a random, erratic pattern, just a mindless insect going about her daily routine. But you are not just observing a simple insect right now. You are standing inside a highly calibrated system. You are currently within a biological scanning grid. That bee is not wandering aimlessly through your garden.
No.
She is executing a precise reconnaissance mission, gathering essential data for her bustling colony right now. You are currently the primary variable in her ecological algorithm, a factor she is carefully assessing today. Welcome to the hidden matrix of the backyard, where the mundane act of watering your plants is closely watched. Every action is actively being recorded, analyzed, and seamlessly translated into complex mathematics by her. When we look at a honeybee, scientifically known as Apis mellifera, we often underestimate her capabilities. We fail to grasp the sheer computational power housed within a brain that is merely the size of a sesame seed. Containing exactly 1 million interconnected neurons, this tiny neurological engine is an absolute marvel now. It is fully capable of advanced cognitive mapping, precise spatial memory retention, and abstract communication. As she hovers just inches from your face, her complex compound eyes, comprised of exactly 7,000 lenses. These hexagonal lenses, scientifically called ommatidia, are not just looking at you with passive observation. They are actively processing visual data at an astonishing rate of exactly 300 frames per second now. To her, your movements are not fluid or continuous. They are a sequence of hyper-detailed optical flows to her. She sees the ultraviolet spectrum illuminating the world in colors your human eyes can never truly comprehend. The flowers you planted are glowing like bright neon landing strips, guiding her very precisely toward nectar. But more importantly, she is actively memorizing the exact topography of your garden during this rapid flight. She meticulously notes the location of the bird bath, the shadow cast by your oak tree, and structural details. Yes, she is meticulously mapping your predictable daily routine, observing exactly when you water the plants. This phenomenon introduces us to a mesmerizing concept in behavioral ecology known as the reciprocity illusion. We believe we are the generous benefactors, providing a safe sanctuary for wildlife within our small backyards. But from the perspective of the hive, you are merely a highly predictable, localized weather pattern to them. You are a vital biological event that consistently triggers the release of resources in her daily environment. She has learned that exactly 20 minutes after the sprinkler system activates, the soil moisture increases. It reaches optimal levels for the specific blooming flowers she targets, making it the perfect time to forage. She knows the physical dimensions of your silhouette and the rhythmic vibration of your steps on the gravel. You are not a stranger to her at all. You are a deeply integrated landmark within her survival topography now. To truly understand the magnitude of this mapping process, we must delve deeper into her neural architecture. The mushroom bodies within their tiny brains are specialized structures strictly responsible for deep memory. They are proportionally massive compared to other insects, granting them incredible navigational abilities now. When she memorizes the layout of your patio furniture, she is not merely taking a static photographic snapshot. She is generating a continuous, highly dynamic, three-dimensional model of your yard within her neural network. This model accounts for the shifting shadows cast by the sun throughout the day as it moves across the sky. It notes the changing wind currents around your house, and the microclimates created by your watering habits. Researchers utilizing miniature radar transponders have meticulously tracked these incredible foraging flights. They revealed that a single bee can cover a radius of up to 5 miles during a single mission for the hive. Yet she will actively choose to return to your specific garden if the caloric reward justifies the long trip. This decision-making process is a prime example of optimal foraging theory in action within the natural world. She calculates the energy required to fly to your yard, subtracting it from the potential energy gained there. She only initiates the complex communication sequence if the net gain is significantly positive for the colony. Once she has gathered enough data, alongside her heavy payload of nectar and pollen, she does not just fly. She initiates a complex navigational sequence utilizing the polarized light of the sun as an absolute compass. Even on completely overcast days, her specialized photoreceptors detect the precise angle of solar radiation. This allows her to calculate a flawless trajectory back to her colony, navigating with absolute perfection. This brings us to the exact moment of decryption, the specific event where your existence is fully reported. It is relayed back to a massive, breathing superorganism waiting eagerly within the dark confines of the hive. Upon entering the dark, tightly packed corridors of the hive, surrounded by tens of thousands of her sisters, she must communicate the exact spatial coordinates of your backyard to the rest of the waiting foraging team. She achieves this through one of the most sophisticated languages in the animal kingdom, entirely without sound. This is the renowned Waggle Dance, an incredible display of biological mathematics happening in total darkness. The groundbreaking mechanics of this behavior were first fully decoded by the brilliant Austrian ethologist. Hi there! We're introducing a new feature where I can read this aloud in a natural, human-like voice. It earned him the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in the year 1973 AD for his outstanding research work. Von Frisch realized that the tiny bee is essentially performing advanced calculus while in complete darkness. She positions her body on the vertical honeycomb and immediately begins to run in a precise figure-8 loop. The central axis of this run, the straight line where she vibrates her abdomen rapidly, is the critical data. The angle of this straight run relative to directly vertical represents the exact angle away from the bright sun. It tells the other foragers exactly where they must fly to find your garden in the vast, open landscape today. If she runs straight up the comb, she is telling her sisters to fly directly toward the sun to find the food. If she angles her dance exactly 45 degrees to the right of vertical, she gives a precise command now. She is commanding them to fly exactly 45 degrees to the right of the current solar position outside. But directional vectoring is only half of the equation. She must also communicate the exact distance properly. They need to travel this exact distance to reach the blooming hydrangeas currently growing beside your porch. She does this by modulating the exact duration of her waggle. Timing is everything in this complex procedure. For every single second she spends vibrating her abdomen on that straight run, she signifies a huge distance. It represents a distance of roughly 1,000 meters across the landscape, guiding her sisters flawlessly. If your garden is closer, say only 200 meters away, her waggle run will last a mere fraction of a second. It is executed with an intense, frantic energy that clearly signals a high-value, immediately accessible spot. Furthermore, the intensity of her dance, the sheer vigor with which she moves, communicates the nectar quality. She is effectively giving your garden a review, a rating system based purely on sugar concentration and access. As she dances, she periodically stops to distribute tiny samples of the nectar she gathered from your backyard. She allows the other foragers to taste the specific chemical signature of your flowers, imprinting the local scent. She also releases localized pheromones, microscopic chemical tags that act as an olfactory beacon for the crew. When the new recruits finally arrive at your property, they are not searching blindly through the dense foliage. They have been given a holographic projection of your yard, complete with GPS coordinates and a scent profile.